Welcome to just another canal in Singapore. Oh wait, we are not at any other canal. We are at the restored Kallang River located inside Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park. Disclaimer, restore implies human action but in a good way. In this case, it is to engineer natural features into the then Bishan Park's landscape to make it more beautiful and restore many ecosystem services under the Singapore Public Utilities Board's Active Beautiful Clean Waters initiative. Here we have a wide range of biodiversity, from otters to herons. There's also invasive species like sliders. And sadly, the most domineering of them all, humans? What draws them all to the river? Is it McDonald's? How about the feng shui? Or could it just be how green the river looks? Yes, it's the green vegetation. Vegetation, while located largely on the park's grounds, play very important roles in making the restored Kallang River a clean and inviting environment for all. If the river itself provides its own ecosystem services to contribute to its ecological balance, why not talk about how the vegetation even enables the river to do all of that? The vegetation helps to clean up the river, beautify it, and so much more. Let's find out about the river ecosystem services that the vegetation contributes to. First, grass helps to reduce the river's chances of flooding. Fun fact is that floods are a natural phenomena, but there's still that chance that flood water spill over and damage roads and houses. Hence, there is a need to ensure that the banks of the river can hold water too, and that's done through the creation of floodplains. Natural floodplains often consist of trees and forests. However, the floodplains along the Kallang River are artificial. These artificial floodplains are made from vast patches of grass through a process called daylighting, which removes structures and buildings used to confine channels and restores the natural characteristics or morphology of a river and their surroundings. Also, such grass doesn't grow on ordinary soil, but hydric soils that are able to hold large amounts of water. You can tell from the squishiness. Once rainwater is absorbed by these hydric soils, they will flow downwards as through flow all the way down the river. Next, aquatic plants play a part in nutrient cleansing. Lining the river banks are a large variety of plants that grow closely together. Rainwater that flows over these plants as surface runoff carry particles of various sizes called sediments on their way to the river. So these plants act as a sponge that traps these sediments using their roots. There are also bioswales where shorter plants work with grass to filter out more fine sediments for any rainwater that falls along their path. Rest assured that the water in the Kallang River is clear enough to be seen by a second disc which measures water clarity and get water quality measurements from this measuring device, HORIBA, that's not horrible, which is comparable to restored freshwater ecosystems. Some values measured by the HORIBA include pH levels, which informs us on how well the Kallang River can support its aquatic plants and wildlife. Here, the reading of pH 7.93 is well within the pH 6.0 to 9.0 range found at restored freshwater ecosystems in urban areas. Finally, trees play a role in facilitating a wildlife corridor along the Kallang River. The large variety of tree species here make the park a perfect place for roosting and the river a perfect place for the otters and dragonflies to frolic, creating spaces of recreation and giving these wildlife yet another stop in the network of green spaces in Singapore, the nearest being the Central Catchment Reserve, which is quite a distance away. Well, if you're wondering how the river even relates to these trees, the presence of trees regulate the temperature of the river. Again, our sidekick HORIBA told us it isn't too far off Singapore's absolute temperature, but the air does feel a lot cooler. That's because trees perform carbon sequestration through absorbing the heat trapping carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. And wow, the abundance of leaves each tree has is amazing. From the use of this water pipe looking device called a densitometer, we found that the large abundance of leaves, or area cover, contributes to the cooling effect. But what's really essential in ensuring a colourful wildlife corridor by enabling healthy tree growth are the far-ranging roots of these trees, which are indeed actively in search for water, especially if they've been brought to the river by disposal methods. Using a soil moisture meter to measure the amount of moisture in the soil revealed how wonderful these roots are at regulating water uptake. The soil that was at a shorter distance from the Kallang River was associated with greater soil moisture and a greater presence of tree roots. Indeed, these green gardens of the Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park have selflessly contributed to the well-being of all who visit the river in some way or another. The next time you're here, do spend some time appreciating the beauty of not only the restored Kallang River but the surrounding vegetation too.